Hello, my name is Rachel Stothbang, and this week I have case study number 16, which is about Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines began flying in 1971. They were a short-haul airline just operating in Texas, flying between Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. They began with 3 Boeing 737s and only 25 employees. Before they began, other Texas-based airlines tried to stop them from getting their business off the ground. The case ended up going to the Texas Supreme Court twice, although the Texas Supreme Court ended up siding with Southwest both times. Right before they were set to operate, the underwriters of their IPO withdrew and a restraining order was put against them. However, the second time the Texas Supreme Court sided with them, they were able to begin operating 2 days later. Despite these early setbacks, they have now become one of the largest U.S. airlines, and based on the number of passengers, one of the biggest airlines in the world. They have also been able to remain consistently profitable for decades, unlike much of their competition. A few years after they began, in 1978, the president signed the Airline Deregulation Act. This allowed more firms to enter the market, and within a decade, 150 airlines had went bankrupt, including 8 of the 11 major U.S. airlines. This left Delta, United, and American with about 80% of domestic air traffic and 67% of transatlantic air traffic. This was followed by the fuel crisis in 1979, an air traffic controller strike in the early 1980s. However, the deregulation did open up competition, which led to lower fares and increased demand for air travel. In 1974, there was demand for about 200 million travelers, and by 2007, the demand had risen to about 700 million travelers per year. By the mid-1990s, the airlines were having trouble keeping up with demand. However, after the terrorist attacks in 2001, the industry lost an estimated $30 billion. There was another dip in 2008 due to recession, but the industry began to grow again in 2010. All in all, from about 2001 to 2011, the industry had total losses of about $50 billion. And from 2000 to 2011, 51 U.S. airlines filed for bankruptcy. Despite this, Southwest continued to grow much more rapidly than its competition. When first beginning, Southwest did have much competition from legacy brands as they were trying to branch out into new markets. Many of the hubs were around the country were operated by these legacy brands, and they didn't want to, they were very protective of them. So they leased gates out for a much higher fee than they were paying for them. This caused Southwest to have to withdraw from some markets and re-enter at a later time. More recently, Southwest is facing competition from smaller airline companies who are charging even lower fees. Some of these include airlines like JetBlue, Spirit, and Allegiant. Southwest has a hard time lowering its prices even more due to the industry's extremely high fixed costs, which causes it to have the worst net operating margin against other industries. In 2010, Southwest decided to try and break into the United States northeastern region by acquiring AirTran Airways. This was their first acquisition, so they had to figure out how to integrate thousands of employees into their company culture, as well as use a different model of airplane, as AirTran used the Boeing 717s and Southwest had primarily used the Boeing 737s. AirTran Airways also came with international routes and an offering of first-class seating, which previously Southwest did not have. In order to stay competitive, Southwest has continued to primarily focus on short-haul flights, which are less than 500 miles and average about an hour and 55 minutes of flight time. They have been able to keep their cost per available seat mile and their employee cost per available seat mile much lower than the industry average and legacy brands, however, not lower than the newer, smaller airline companies. For most of their history, they have operated under a two-tiered pricing structure. One tier for people more oriented towards business travel, and others more oriented towards leisure travel who are more price conscious. In 2007, they added a third tier for business travelers. They also, in 2007, they promoted their 2 bags free program. They added a extra fee that people could pay in order to board first, since they didn't have reserved seating. This was also integrated into their Rapid Rewards Frequent Flyer program, which they began in 2011. Southwest, because of their low turnaround time, has also averages about 7 flights a day for each plane, which is about twice the industry average. They are able to fly more passengers per employee, and they have a lower debt to equity ratio than the industry. Some of their best solutions include their employees. Because of their good company environment, they have the lowest employee turnover in the industry at only 7%. They also encourage cooperative labor relations, with 82% of employees being unionized. The employees are encouraged to have fun and engage with passengers. And from 1971 to 2012, no employees were laid off, excluding voluntary buyouts. They were also the first national airline to create a homepage on the internet and sell seats from their website. And by the end of 2014, 81% of their passenger revenues were booked on their website. One philosophy that has helped them throughout the decades in good times and bad times is, quote, "We manage in good times so that our company and our people can be job secure and prosper through bad times." That is a little bit about Southwest for case number 16. Thank you.